Hello, I'm Cheryl, 36 years old, and I have quite a story to share. It was meant to be a joyous occasion, a family celebration for our wedding anniversary. My husband, Jeffrey, and I decided to invite some family over and planned a little escape for ourselves. We would spend the day at a spa while our friends and family prepared our home for the celebration. It seemed like a perfect idea, but my mother-in-law, Nancy, had other plans. Despite my best efforts to maintain a positive relationship, Nancy and I never got along. Her constant insults and belittlement turned our interactions into a continuous struggle. On our anniversary, after a relaxing spa day, Jeffrey and I returned home, hoping for a peaceful celebration. I was apprehensive about Nancy's potential for drama but hoped that today might be different. I was mistaken. As we walked into our home, the atmosphere was far from welcoming. Instead of the festive cheer we anticipated, the room was filled with cold, uncomfortable stares, mostly directed at me. The harshest gaze came from Nancy. Trying to break the ice, I called out, "Hey everyone, let's get this party started." "Nancy, is everything okay? You seem off today. Is there something wrong? Aren't we going to celebrate our anniversary?" Nancy responded sharply, "Oh, Cheryl, I wish I could congratulate you, but unfortunately, that won't be happening." Confused, I asked, "Why not?" Nancy accused, "Because Cheryl is a thief." I was taken aback. "What are you talking about? This is my home, Jeffrey's and mine. Why are you making such accusations?" Nancy continued, "She's taken everything from you. First, she drove a wedge between you and me, and now she's trying to claim this house." I was stunned. "What are you even saying, Mom? This is where I live with Jeffrey. Why are you making such a terrible statement?" I had hoped for a warm celebration, but I see now I was wrong. "Your negativity has clearly spoiled everything." Nancy's accusations escalated. "Stop being so selfish, Cheryl. You have no right to be upset. I'm the one who has reason to be frustrated." "Mom, I'm not sure what's happening, but let's discuss this privately." Nancy dismissed my request. "No need for that. I've already shared everything with the guests here. They agree with me and believe this house is rightfully mine. As Jeffrey promised, I'll clear things up." "Cheryl, there's nothing to clarify. This house is rightfully mine, and as the owner, I have the authority to make decisions." "Cheryl, you're no longer welcome here." "What does this mean?" I asked, trying to wrap my head around the gravity of Nancy's ultimatum. "You have 3 options," Nancy said with a steely gaze. "You can leave this house right now, go through with a divorce, or return my son to me. The choice is yours." I was stunned. How could she be so heartless? I glanced at Jeffrey, hoping for some clarity, but he looked just as bewildered. "Mom, I want to salvage this day," Jeffrey interjected. "It's supposed to be a joyful celebration. I don't want your actions to ruin it." "Behavior? Really? We've got photographers and caterers here for a limited time. Let's all calm down, enjoy the moment, and maybe after we have some nice pictures and good food, we can discuss this more calmly." Despite the mounting tension and the very real possibility of a dramatic confrontation, I was relieved that Jeffrey was trying to de-escalate the situation. He was right. The professionals we hired were expensive, and we couldn't afford any delays, especially with Nancy's disruptions. We stepped outside to enjoy the beautiful surroundings decorated in our wedding colors, hoping to capture some joyful moments. But even as we played games and shared meals, Nancy's scowls seemed to cast a shadow over the festivities. As the evening wore on, Nancy's true colors came through: cold stares and rude comments. Her usual aloofness had turned into outright hostility. Despite my confusion and hurt, I took Jeffrey's advice and tried to make the best of the situation. Our friends and family started to relax and enjoy themselves, but Nancy remained disinterested. When the celebration finally ended and the staff began to pack up, it was clear that the earlier drama had cut the event short. Jeffrey and I worked hard to salvage what we could of the evening, and despite everything, I managed to have a somewhat decent time, but the underlying issue with Nancy needed to be addressed. I decided to confront her directly. "Nancy, I've made an effort to connect with you. I've invited you over and tried to spend time together, but you seem to be pushing me away. What have I done to deserve this hostility?" "You're missing the point, Cheryl," Nancy replied coldly. "Let me be clear, my son bought this house for me, not for you. You were never meant to be part of our family." Her words stung, and I was flooded with memories of all the times her unfriendly attitude had affected us. Her sarcastic remarks and undermining comments had always made it clear that she viewed me as an outsider. Now, she was claiming ownership of the house and behaving as if she had the right to dictate who belonged in her son's life. But there was one key element missing from her claims: Jeffrey. I looked over at Jeffrey, who was deep in conversation with relatives, likely trying to manage the aftermath of the day's events. He finally joined us, leading to a tense exchange. "Mom, we need to talk about what happened today." "That was unacceptable," Jeffrey said. "What are you talking about?" "You clearly told me that this house belonged to me," Jeffrey said. "I don't remember saying that, Jeffrey. You had a bit too much to drink that night, but you should recall that you mentioned the house was mine, and I could do whatever I wanted with it." "Mom, why would I ever say that? This house is not yours." "Well, maybe because you care about me," Nancy replied. "Of course, I care about you, Mom, but the way you acted today, on our anniversary, was not okay. Let's not argue. Do you really think you have a say in my property? I could call the authorities and have you removed for trespassing. It's a choice between you leaving or us getting a divorce. Why are you so determined to kick her out, even if this house were yours, which it isn't? Why the intense desire to see her gone?" "Because she repulses me. I can't stand having her around." "So, you don't want me here?" "Fine," I said, my voice trembling with hurt. "I'll start packing my things," I said, my voice strained. "Hold on a minute. No, I've had enough of waiting. Jeffrey, you're not innocent in this. I don't know what's gotten into your mother, but it's clear you've played a significant role in making her feel entitled like this. What's worse, you've remained silent about the mistreatment I've endured and haven't taken any action. What are you suggesting? Should I cut ties with her, get a restraining order? You think it's easy to just get rid of me? Do you believe Jeffrey would betray his mother like that? You must be out of your mind. Go ahead and pack your things, as you suggested," I replied, my patience wearing thin. Fuming, I stormed off, frustrated by how my life had unraveled, with a difficult mother-in-law and a seemingly oblivious husband. Perhaps this was a hidden blessing. I needed to break free once and for all. As I walked through the house, the weight of years of mistreatment hit me hard. I had poured my heart and soul into this marriage, trying to build a foundation of love and unity, and now, Nancy was presenting me with this absurd ultimatum. Considering divorce was agonizing, especially when simply leaving her house seemed like the easier option. I was fed up with the chaos and needed to leave to salvage whatever peace remained in my life. Tears streamed down my face as I packed my belongings. The night promised to be long and emotional, but I was determined to finish quickly and avoid Nancy's presence. Heading to the study, I gathered my documents, books, and files. When I came across the house deed, I was taken aback. I wondered why it had been left out carelessly, but I was grateful it was. As I examined the documents, I realized something crucial and stopped packing. This was too important to ignore. Outside, I found Jeffrey and Nancy still locked in a heated argument. "I don't know what you're talking about, Mom. I never transferred ownership of this house to you," Jeffrey insisted. "Oh, then why do the papers say otherwise?" Nancy retorted. "What papers?" I saw Nancy frantically searching through her purse, unable to find what she was looking for. "Are you looking for these?" I asked, holding up the documents. Nancy's face twisted into a scowl, but I held my ground. No longer the accommodating person I once was, it was time to assert my rightful claim. After thoroughly examining the documents, there was no indication that Nancy owned the house. The papers clearly showed only Jeffrey's and my names. "What? This can't be right." Jeffrey reassured me. "Whatever she told you was clearly incorrect. I have the authentic papers right here. Go ahead, check for yourself, read them and accept the reality." Nancy abruptly grabbed the documents from me, scanning them with growing frustration. There was no mention of her name anywhere. Suddenly, she looked unwell. The other guests watched in surprise as her face went pale, her eyes rolled back, and she fainted, hitting the ground with a thud. Gasps filled the room as Jeffrey quickly carried her inside. We did our best to cool her down and hoped she would regain consciousness soon. After about 5 minutes, she came to, confused about what had happened. She accused me of causing her distress, but I assured her that I had merely revealed the truth. Jeffrey went to get water, and while he was away, I took the opportunity to say goodbye to the remaining guests. Once I was satisfied that Nancy was stable, we prepared for the challenging task of unraveling the truth behind her claims. When Jeffrey returned with the water, he urged Nancy to come clean about everything she knew. The story traced back to a Christmas party a few months prior, where Jeffrey, in a drunken state, had made grandiose promises to his mother. As the details emerged, it became evident that Jeffrey's promises were exaggerated. Nancy accused him of promising her trips and even the house we were currently in. Initially, Jeffrey was confused but then began to recall the night, admitting he had made promises but clarifying that the specifics were different. He acknowledged mentioning gifts but insisted that the house was not part of his inebriated pledges. We were left to sift through the events of that chaotic night. I can't recall everything clearly, but let me refresh your memory, I said. I hurried upstairs to retrieve the security camera footage from that party and brought it down for Jeffrey to review. The footage revealed a visibly intoxicated Jeffrey making lavish promises to Nancy, including the house. When Nancy asked if he meant the current house, he said, "Not this house." She insisted on this one, expressing concern about where Jeffrey and I would live. Jeffrey suggested another house, but Nancy was adamant about this one. She demanded that he transfer the house into her name, which Jeffrey reluctantly agreed to. Nancy, who had been watching the footage on the iPad, suddenly looked like a child caught in the act. We demanded an explanation. Nancy, stuttering, admitted she had known about the plan all along. To our shock, she fainted during the revelation. We questioned why she had pretended to be shocked if she was aware of the plan. Jeffrey accused her of staging the fainting episode for sympathy and attention. He expressed disbelief that she had allowed the situation to escalate to this point, criticizing her for ruining our anniversary in her quest for the house. He declared that she would get nothing more from him and removed her from his will. Both Nancy and Jeffrey were stunned by his drastic decision. In a surprising turn, Jeffrey kicked his mother out of the house, leaving her bewildered by his newfound assertiveness. This departure from his usual submissiveness was shocking. Fueled by anger, Jeffrey stood up for himself, asking Nancy to leave and removing her from our inheritance. The next day, Jeffrey sought legal advice to ensure his decision was in progress. It was an important step to protect our future and ensure fairness. As time went on, Nancy's desperation became apparent. She persistently called and messaged Jeffrey, but he remained resolute in his choice. Dismissing her attempts to control him, he promised to protect me from any further manipulations or harmful actions. Meanwhile, I enjoyed the newfound peace within our home. The constant presence of Nancy, her hurtful comments, and attempts to sabotage our happiness were no more. Our home transformed into a sanctuary, symbolizing our victory over her deceit. Nancy faced the consequences of her lies, and the house, once under her control, now stood as a testament to her dishonesty. Fairness prevailed, and Nancy's misplaced confidence was shattered. Jeffrey and I moved forward, committed to building a future based on truth, open communication, empathy, love, and trust. Our relationship grew stronger as we faced and overcame these challenges together. Nancy's attempts at reconciliation were met with unwavering silence from Jeffrey. He remained steadfast in his commitment to protect me, ensuring that we could progress without the lingering influence of her manipulations. Our home became a comforting haven, preserving the memories of our love and resilience. Nancy faded into the background as we embraced our life together. Jeffrey's determination to safeguard me remained unwavering, standing as a pillar of strength against any potential threats from Nancy. He made it clear to her and anyone who doubted our unity that we were a powerful team. As time passed, Nancy's attempts to reconcile dwindled, acknowledging the permanent rift her dishonesty had created. The consequences of her actions had a lasting impact on her own life. While our home flourished with affection and joy, the wounds inflicted by Nancy's words began to heal, giving way to an environment of understanding and support. Jeffrey's unwavering commitment to our well-being was evident in every gesture and word. Together, we preserved our sanctuary, a space where we could thrive and evolve, shielded from the negativity of the past.